The following presentation is brought to you by kmmedia.pro. Please visit kmmedia.pro for more information. Now stay right where you are as we present. Welcome to Positive Talk Radio, evolving ideas one conversation at a time. Great guests, dynamic stories and interviews, plus new thoughts on a wide range of topics and concepts. I hope that you'll hang with me, Kevin McDonald, my friends, and of course, you. As together we work to understand why we are all here and what we can do to make our world a better place for all of us. To be happy, be kind, and live in peace together. Yep, that's Positive Talk Radio. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Positive Talk Radio. My name is Kevin McDonald. I'm your host today. And we've got a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guest on with us that we're going to be talking to for the next 40 minutes or so. And her name is Daisy Paige. And Daisy, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Kevin. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me on your show today.
Oh, you're welcome. By the way, you have a wonderful, wonderful accent. Where are you?
Northeast Texas.
Northeast Texas. Is it warm over there?
It is very warm. It's a little cool. It's getting a little cooler though this past couple of days, so that's good.
Oh, good. Well, I assume you have air conditioning and all of that.
Absolutely, you have to down here.
Can you imagine? I used to work out of Arkansas, and where it can be like 90 degrees or 95 degrees and 95 degrees humidity. And there were people 100 years ago that didn't have air conditioning and they still lived here. Could you imagine?
I remember going to my grandma's when I was younger, and we had box fans in the windows, and that's all she had. And I thought it was hot then.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. So we're going to talk about your book today, which is called Unexpected Moments. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and how the book came to be.
Well, I'm from a small town here in Texas. Lived here most of my life. Moved away a few times, but I can't ever be gone more than 4.5 years, or some trauma or tragedy always brings us back home. I've got three grown children, and I couldn't be more proud of them all after everything they witnessed, growing up. So that makes me happy.
Did
um,
they have a lot of was there a lot of trauma around when they were younger?
yes, their father unfortunately was very abusive. It didn't matter if they were in the room or not.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, and I assume that he's no longer around.
No, he actually passed away in 2016.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but and it's better that he not be in your life if he was an abusive man.
No, I actually divorced him when my son, he's 27 now, was only 5 years old. So,
Oh, good, good. Well, so you've had quite a life, and you've had a lot of things go on in your life. Um, what's going on now?
well, that's what brings me to why I wrote my book. Um, Last year I was diagnosed with a very rare terminal neurological condition known as MSA, or multi-system atrophy. Um, and I got a vision from who told me, my time was near, but I must tell my story from the beginning first. And I couldn't imagine how I was going to do that. And I was supposed to go to Vermont and see my best friend in October. She developed COVID, so we were unable to go. And we were driving by a big church in our hometown. On the marquee sign said Kirk Cameron would be in town the following week. So my husband asked me if I would want to go there since I couldn't go to Vermont. And I said, well, yeah, I want to go see Kirk Cameron. Are you kidding? So he said, well, ask your mom if she wants to go with you. And so she and I went. I got us VIP tickets where we got to go in early and ask him questions and get our pictures taken with him. And during the question and answer time, I raised my hand and then I got shy, so I put my hand down. And then this gentleman in the middle of the row, he raises his hand and he said, "Yes, sir." So Kurt said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Down there on the end, there's a lady that wants to ask you a question." He looks at me and he says, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "Oh, no." Well, are you gonna have any seniors reunions? I asked from Growing Pains, and he said, "Well, Alan Thicke passed away, but we're planning on it with Joanna Kearns and Jeremy Miller and Tracy Gold." And I asked him, I said, "Kurt, I was a teenager. You were my biggest fan. I was your biggest fan. I had your pictures posted all over my walls, and I wrote you and asked you for an autographed picture and gave you 3 months, and you never returned my letter. You didn't write me back or send me a picture, so I tore all your posters down and said, well, he must not care for his fans." And he said, "I tell you what, I'll make that up to you this evening." And when it came picture time, I gave him one of those little Lance Armstrong bracelets that said defeatmsa.org.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Is that what you have?" And I said, "Yes, it was." And he said, "Well, I'll have to do a little research on it." And he said, "Let's talk more about it after the event." And I said, "Okay." So after the event, you have little campfires outside and do some more singing and worshiping. And when it was all over, I asked the security guard, I said, "Could you see if Kirk will come and sign my ticket for me?" And he said, "Yes, he wants to talk to you anyway." I said, "Okay." So Kirk comes over, and I'm in a wheelchair. So first thing he did was he got on his knees and he asked me, "Can I pray for you?" And I said, "You sure can." So he grabbed both my hands and he prayed for me. And then I told him about my vision. And he said, "Well, how are you going to tell your story?" I said, "I don't know what to do." He said, "I think you should write a book." I said, "Well, I haven't written anything but a poem my whole life." And he said, "Just pray about it and God will give you the words. Keep me updated. Here's my email address and let me know how it's going." So that was in October. January 23rd, I was done with my book. I had dedicated 2 to 3 hours a day on it, and I prayed every day for God to give me the words, and He did. They just flew out, flooded out. I kept Kurt updated, and when I finished it, he asked me to send him the manuscript. So I did, and a week later, he sent me a foreword for the book.
And that is the forward that is in the book, Unexpected Moments. And
Yes,
that is a really cool story. And he's a really good guy.
he really is, and it's a beautiful foreword. I wasn't expecting it. It takes a whole page up in my book. I had seen some forwards he'd done for books, and they were just a couple of sentences, so I wasn't expecting it. And still, every time I read it, it makes me tear up.
You touched his heart.
He told me I inspired him. Can you believe that?
Yes, I can. You're an inspiring young lady.
I was like, me? He inspired me.
Well, see, that's what makes life so beautiful is that we can inspire each other. And that is I'm so glad you told me that story. That is really that's really cool because that this whole process has been divinely inspired.
Oh, absolutely. I know that God put him in my path. That's for sure.
And and he did it for a reason because your story and you and regardless of what happens in the future you deserve to be written about and your story kept alive for other people because you're not the first one to have this. You won't be the last, and you can inspire people that have got terminal conditions that they need to be um, inspired. So and you're doing that. How do you feel about that? That must make you feel really proud.
It does, and to know, like you said, well, first of all, the life expectancy of MSA is only 5 to 7 years, and I'm in my about 4.5 year right now. So, and I am progressing a little more quickly. I'm getting some more symptoms faster than I was. So, um, but this book is gonna keep going on and on through my children. And after my children are gone, the book's still going to be here. So that inspires me to know that I can keep inspiring people even after I'm no longer here.
Yeah, but I firmly believe that you'll be aware of what's happening because you're going to be in heaven,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and we all are, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really pleased to be able to do this show with you, is that I'm not as young as a spring chicken anymore, and one of these days is going to be my day, and I will have the opportunity to interview somebody really special, and thank you for that. And thank you for inspiring people because you just didn't sit there and say woe is me. You took action, and
Exactly. And I can't go out publicly and physically do a book tour, so I'm going to do what you call, I guess, a virtual book tour.
yep,
And I've done about 33 podcast and radio interviews, so I'm really working hard to get this story out there to people so that they can read it and be inspired and motivated. Um, and it's mainly about abuse and overcoming it and knowing that I had God with me the whole time, and He doesn't put you through more than you can handle as long as you have faith and you can believe that. He'll lead you down the right path, but you have to watch for His signs and listen for His signals.
that is so true. That is so true. That if and that requires us all to pay attention a little bit, and some of us don't. And I think it's a great example of you that is helping someone pay attention or to learn how to do that. It really is an art form, don't you think?
Yes. And I will say, because I was a Christian at the age of about 8, and then at the age of about around 9, and I found out that my real mother was not, my stepmother was not my real mother. And after I found out that, I began to be sexually molested for 4.5 years. And then I was raped at 14. And then I was drugged, but with PCP and LSD. So I had all these bad things happening to me when I had Bible studies every day, went to church camp every summer. My recreational time was spent in my room studying my Bible and doing Bible devotions. I knew the Bible from the front to the back by the time I was 9.5 years old.
Good for you.
And I'm like, why? Why, God? Why are you putting me through all this pain while I'm a devoted Christian? I've devoted my life to doing nothing but learning about you, and that makes me happy, but yet I still shall suffer. And at 14, at church camp, I felt his presence again, and he told me he wanted me to rededicate my life because I'm going to have a huge testimony that I'm going to be able to share one day. And you know what? He was right when he came back and said, "Now it's time for you to just tell your story from the beginning." I understood what that testimony was.
It's important, and the reason, and well, you know why it's important, but for those of you who may not, um, you've been through a lot. You came out the other side. You're what I have a term that I use. It's called authentic grit. And I use that term because it is somebody that is really brave, conscientious, kind, loving, and you are an example of what I call um, authentic grit. because you're doing everything. You're doing your best, and you're improving everybody. So, and we've got somebody that would like to chime in here, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Um,
not at all.
Michelle says, "I'm so sorry for what you went through." Michelle is a coach, and she is helping people to go through, to get through that. And then she also says, um, "You are brave and strong, and God is with you," and that is absolutely so true. Um,
Thank you, Michelle.
and you're a shining example of the type of individual that can have a big impact. And when you were 14 and you got that message that said, I am your testimony is going to be a big deal, it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and then my husband beat me for 11 years. I mean, there's so many other things that, I'm just scratching the surface. It's all in my book.
Well, and
And,
some and the name of the book again is Unexpected Moments, and you need to and unexpected-moments.com is where you can go to get more information about Daisy. But it's at Amazon and it's everywhere, and so please go get the book. And it is a grand testimonial about the spirit of man and what or spirit of woman and what you can accomplish, that even though you went through all of that, you still came out the other side, and you're a lovely, lovely person.
well, thank you, Kevin. Um, I want to share though, if you get the book from my website or Ex Libris, XLIBRIS, that more proceeds come in because I'm donating 10% of all the proceeds to Defeat MSA, the charity that's going to research for a cure to find, for the disorder.
Are they making any progress that you know of?
Not yet. There's another clinical trial that is just coming up available probably next month, but my specialist said he had hoped I would be eligible for it, but unfortunately I progressed too far that I'm not gonna be a fit for that um, study now.
I know that, and this is a hard question, but you're a tough cookie, and I know you can handle it. So I know that you have a timeline, and they've kind of given you a timeline, but you're tough, and at one point though, that your time will end here, and I know you know where you're going, right?
Oh, I definitely do.
And your kids are grown.
Yes, they are. And they have a wonderful stepfather that will be here for them as well as they can be here for each other. Um, but
And do you know what you're doing by doing interviews like this? This interview will be up for the rest of time.
exactly, that was another thing I was going to say. All these interviews you'll be able to find. And now, what I'm seeing, if I go on and I Google Daisy Page, all these interviews are popping up. I'm like, look at there.
Yep, and this will be available to them, that we can send them this in its entirety, so that they can have the MP4, so that they can do anything that they want to with it, for the rest of time. So, your so not only will your children have it, but your grandchildren and your great grandchildren and your great grandchildren. Can I tell you a quick story about that?
You sure can.
Because I'm a bit of a radio guy, and I had something that I was calling family legacies, and so I took my equipment up and interviewed my dad, and subsequently he went in to have surgery, and he passed away, um, of a stroke, while he was in the hospital. And so when we had his memorial service, I took that interview that I did with him, and I cut it down a little bit to make it like a 10-minute long a review of his life. And so we played it at his memorial service, so
Oh,
he was able to talk in his own voice and was able to um, relay that to the people that were there, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
I can imagine. I have already started writing what I call my celebration of life. Having my brain donated, for them to research for MSA. So, I've already lined up what songs I want to play, and I'm working on putting a slideshow together for them to play, so that's off their shoulders. They don't have to worry about doing that for me. Um, I've already called the preacher and asked him if he'll be the one to do the sermon at the services. So,
And what we will do for you with this interview that we are doing here is we will create a video short of a minute or so that will feature you and your words, and that will go up on all social media everywhere. And we, we want to offer that to you. Is that okay?
sure, absolutely. Um, can I take a moment and read Kirk Cameron's forward?
The forward, yes. Well, and Michelle
I
also says, yes, share your story, Daisy. Your story will inspire others. You are leaving a legacy.
Thanks again, Michelle. That means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because I didn't really think when I wrote this book, what a great motivation and inspiration it was going to be for people. But now that I keep hearing that, it touches my heart every time because that's what I wanted to do, and to see that it is working. It brings tears of joy. Some things aren't tears of sadness; they're tears of joy.
Daisy, this is what you were destined to do, and you were destined to positively impact people. Not today, not tomorrow, but in 100 years from now, and that's a legacy.
I don't know if you've read. Have you read Kirk Cameron's Forward, Kevin?
Nope, but go ahead
I
and
have to read it because the words that you were saying is Kirk, so that's why I'm.
well, well, he's a hell of a lot better looking, but I will consider that a real honor. So,
Oh,
but go ahead.
okay. It says it was an autumn night in Texas when I first met Daisy. She came up in a wheelchair next to me at the campfire. Her smile was bright. She shared her journey with me and told me she did not have much time left on earth. I told her to write down her story, and I would do anything I could to help share it with the world. I only spoke with her briefly that night, but her attitude and resilient spirit inspired me. I hope that this book of an individual's incredible journey throughout emotional, physical, and spiritual pain, and coming throughout the other side of tragedy, still praising the Lord, will encourage you in your present situation. Daisy's message will bring you comfort and remind you that you are not alone in your struggles or life circumstances. I pray for her words to bring you hope. There is one who knows the plans he has for you, plans to give you hope in a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Kirk Cameron.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it?
That really is, and you really inspired the man.
That is quite a shock.
Well, something. What I've learned, Daisy, is that it's not a matter of being famous. It's not a matter of who you are, or it's a matter. Well, it is a matter of who you are, not what people think you are. And he's a good guy, and he takes a lot of pride in what he does, and um, he wants to help you. And you touched his heart, and that's really really important.
I
And
knew if
would
I
you put
touched his heart, it was going to touch a lot. It was going to touch people's heart, because I didn't.
it's yes, you've touched my heart. I couldn't be more honored to be sitting here talking with you.
Well, absolutely, it's my pleasure, Kevin, to be here to talk to you and share my story.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, and Michelle will attest to this as well, is that we all go through trauma and pain, and yours is more horrific than most, I do have to say. But we all have got challenges in our life that we have to get through, and we're never alone. And
No,
we we will survive anything. We just need to help each other and to help from the divine.
absolutely. I truly believe now that God put me through what He did to make me strong enough to go through what I have to face and to show others that as long as you have faith, you can make it through anything. He's going to always be there for you, and He will never put you through more than you can handle.
That is true, and um, I know that the timeline that you're talking about is 6 months or 8 months or 10 months, or the time really doesn't matter. It's you're doing everything that you can with the time that you have left to leave an imprint, an indelible imprint of your life and your legacy on everybody that who touches you or will listen to this podcast. But we've had people listening today, and they're giving thumbs up, and they're giving hearts, and they are genuinely taken with your story and the person that you are. And it's thank you, thank you.
Well, I want you to know after this book came out, I started having a lot of dreams about heaven. And I believed I wouldn't make it till Christmas, that my time would come before Christmas. But I wrote a second book. And
You have a second book in the works?
yes, I've just finished it about a week or so ago.
Good for you. What's it called?
Beyond Heaven's Gates.
Awesome. What's it? And it's about your visitation of going to heaven.
I have I had like sometimes 2 weeks, 2 dreams a week, and they always picked up where they left off. So I believe that God wanted me to share there is a heaven, and for those that didn't believe, and for those that even do believe, to give them peace. It gave me peace. Every dream I had gave me peace, knowing that's where I'm going. He's preparing my home for me.
Well, and he is, and he. By the way, I've done a lot of research on near death experiences and things like that, and and talk to hospice people and stuff, and it's not number one. Don't be scared. You have nothing to be scared of. It's going to be and you're going to be in the hands of God, and he's going to take good care of you. You're going to have all your relatives and family and friends will be there, and it's going to be one heck of a party.
Oh yeah, that's one of the chapters. Actually, the second chapter in the book is called Homecoming Feast. And I saw this table that was as long as you could even see, and it was just full of all my favorite foods. And it was just generation after generation. The people that I always see in pictures, the generations just kept going down the line of the table. And you could eat like you do on Thanksgiving, and you didn't have that, oh, I'm stuffed feeling. You just ate as much as you want, and you were as happy as could be.
Yep. Can I tell you a story real quick?
Sure.
My brother passed away. It'll be 2 years in October. And the day that he passed away, my sister called me. It was 8:15 in the morning. My sister called me and said, Randy's gone. He had stage 4 lung cancer.
Hmm.
So it was terminal for a period of time, and he actually lived a couple of days longer than he thought he would. But so he passed away, and my sister called me, and we talked for a little bit, and it was a little early for me to get up. So when we hung up, I put my head down and went back to sleep for a little bit, and I had a dream. And in this dream, there was a room full of people, young, beautiful looking people. And I could see weaving his way through the crowd was my brother had, unlike me, who have no hair, he had a beautiful head of auburn brown hair that was a full head of hair. And I saw his head going amongst the crowd, and everybody was cheering for him and hugging him and stuff, and so that was him. That was the other side. That was God, if you will, telling me that he's fine and
Exactly.
that he's happy and his family is there and his friends are there, and the all the crap and all the pain and stuff that he went through in his life
It's
is
gone.
gone. And the same thing for you, and you will be, um, and you will feel so special, and you'll feel so good, and all of the things that have gone on here will be gone.
It's nice being there and being able to walk and run and no pain. It was I didn't ever want to leave every time the dream was ending. I was like, I'm not ready to go back. They said, but you'll be home soon. So
You know, that's what everybody that has a near death experience, they all say the same thing. But I don't want to go back. I'm happy here now. So and so, but um, we all have our own time, and I know you've had a great deal of talk with your kids and with your husband and stuff about all of this, and I'm just glad that we could provide a little bit more of a place for people to go to admire you and your legacy. And by the way, get the book Unexpected Moments. The forward is done by Kirk Cameron, and who is an actor of note, and you deserve get the book because it's worth it. It's going to have a great story to it, and you are an incredible young lady. That's all I can tell you.
thank you. And keep your eye out for the Beyond the Gates, Beyond Heaven's Gates.
When is it going to publish?
Well, I'm waiting for my daughter. She made the cover design for Unexpected Moments.
That's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. Here's one where you can see it a little better.
Well, hold on and let me see if I let me do this. I think I can hold on, I can share the screen. And yes, I can. And this is her website,
Oh, there you go.
and
Yes.
this is the book. The copy or the artwork for the book, and this is the cover of the book. So and this is your website. So but so when she finishes the artwork, then are you going to self-publish it, or do you have somebody that's going to publish it for you?
This time, since I had a publisher do Unexpected Moments, so I kind of got to know the ropes of the publishing. I feel a little more confident with going through Amazon and just self-publishing.
Very good. Well, would you do me a favor?
Sure,
When you publish the book, would you call me or email me so that I can have you back on so that we can talk about that book?
absolutely. It would be my pleasure. And you can see the beautiful artwork that she does on this one. It's so neat. Now, I don't believe in coincidences. So I was gonna look on Google and see the gates, get kind of a little bit of an example of the gates that I saw um, when I went to heaven in my dream.
Right.
And the first chapter is called The Golden Gates. The very first image that I found was the one that I saw. It was only missing diamonds on the gates and like diamond doorknobs. And so silhouettes were on the other side of the gates. I couldn't see who they were, but I seen silhouettes and then clouds around them. And that's what she's working. That's what the cover is going to be.
That is just awesome. That is just awesome. But the book is written.
It is. There's a little bit of things I want to do. I'm going to go with each chapter and just find a Bible verse that I can put under, like, the Golden Gates, the Homecoming Feast, how whatever each chapter is titled, put a little Bible verse under each while she's working on the covers.
That's a pretty good idea. That's a really good idea right there. And that again, I'm telling you, that's going to be wildly received.
I hope so. I want it to be.
Well, that's awesome. And you're going to be here to come on to my show again so that we can talk about it.
And that's why I say now I don't believe I'm going to be gone until after the first of the year because God's given me a little bit more time to keep sharing some more stories about what's yet to come.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's like I believe the Bible says that no one knows the time or the hour. Now that was on talking about his return, but also no one knows the time or the hour of our death, and it's probably better off that way. And it's not written yet. You can in 5 years. I want to interview you again. Okay.
Oh, I don't want to do 5 more years.
I understand. I
It's
understand.
too painful.
No, I get it. I get it. So, Daisy Page has been our guest. Go to unexpected-moments.com. Pick up the book. You can get it through Amazon, or you can get it through her website, which is again www.unexpected-moments.com. And I think she'll make a little bit more money if it goes through her website too.
Yes, or they can find me on Facebook under Daisy Page, author. And I have the link to the bookstore on the Ex Libris because they only gave me so much bandwidth, so my website might not work. So they can go into the exlibris.com link and get it there too if they are unable to.
Daisy, Daisy Page, I want to thank you so much for being here. And what I'd like to do now is, and I know we haven't talked about this beforehand, but I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to step aside, and I would like you to tell our audience anything that you would like them to know about anything. And before we go, so young lady, the floor is yours.
Well, I'd just like everyone to know that you shouldn't take life for granted. Don't take even the simple, small tasks that you do as far as washing your hair, brushing your teeth, walking, simple basic necessities. Anything. Enjoy life, but be thankful every day for even those little things that you are able to do and don't take them for granted. If there's one thing that I could do, if I could go back, it would be to be thankful and not take for granted the little things in life.
And I want to thank you so much for being here. And you are an incredible soul, and you truly have authentic grit, um, and you're going to help people understand and to get through some of the stuff that you've been through. And so I want to thank you again for coming here. It's been an utter pleasure for me to interview you.
And it's been an honor to be here today, Kevin. And I can't wait to be back to talk to you about Beyond Heaven's Gates.
That's exactly right, and we are going to do that, and we'll get that done, and it's going to happen before Christmas.
Yes, it will.
That is just amazing. So with that, I there again, go to unexpected-moments.com, pick up the book Unexpected Moments. Daisy Page is the author, and she's a remarkable human being. And I want to thank you so much for being here, young lady.
Thanks again for having me, Kevin.
So if you will wait right there, I will be right back.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for enjoying this episode all the way to the end. Please give us a like and subscribe to this channel. This has been a production of positivetalkradio.net. Please visit our website, oddly named positivetalkradio.net, for more details about us and our mission, which is to provide great positive programming designed to inspire us all. I'm Kevin McDonald, and I'm proud of these shows, and I truly hope that you'll like them and share them with friends and family. So on behalf of our entire team, remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we got.